This is Myosen Marcia Olsen, and I want to talk about the Prajna Paramita, Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. The section that I'm going to quote is entitled How to Stand in Emptiness, or the Perfection of Wisdom. So I'm going to quote a few paragraphs and then I'll intersperse my comments in between. Subhuti then said to Sakra, now Kazika is a nickname for Sakra, chief of gods, which, as some may know, is part of the Indian mythology. So he said to Sakra, now Kazika, listen and attend well. I will teach you how a bodhisattva should stand in perfect wisdom. Through standing in emptiness should he stand in perfect wisdom. Armed with the great armor the bodhisattva should develop, so that he does not take his stand in any of these. Not on form, feeling, perception, impulses, consciousness. Not on eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Not on form, sounds, taste, smells, touchables, mind objects. Not on eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness, until we come to not on the elements, i.e. earth, fire, water, wind, ether, consciousness, and not on the pillars of mindfulness, right efforts, roads to psychic power, faculties, powers, limbs of enlightenment, limbs of the path, and not on the fruits of a stream winner, once returner, never returner, or arhatship, and not on pratyeka Buddhahood, and not on Buddhahood. So, my comment, we bodhisattvas do not attach to the senses or to ideas. We do not attach to mental states. We experience what the body senses and feels. We use the mind to focus on the teaching, the Dharma, with the intention of using it to move us forward and propel us in the right direction. We use the teaching tools for self-discipline and for educating oneself on the path. We experience and use all these things to advantage with the intention in mind to keep oneself moving on the correct path in the right direction. However, we do not attach. One must not attach to anything whatsoever. We don't attach to the idea, I'm a bodhisattva who has attained this level or that level. One must not attach to the idea of religion. One need not be tied up by that idea. One should practice not being attached, entangled, or tied up by anything whatsoever. Roshi has taught us that his teaching is shukyo, which means more of a philosophy, or guiding, or teaching. One uses the wisdom of shukyo, or what I prefer to call true religion, as a tool or vehicle to move one where one wants to go. Just as a car moves one where one wants to go, we use the teaching as a vehicle or tool to get us where we want to go. That is why we have what are called the vehicles in Buddhism. We in Rinzai Zen belong to the vehicle of Mahayana. Buddha compared his teaching to a vehicle. He proclaimed his teaching, his Dharma, to be a raft, a vehicle to get to the other shore. Into this vehicle is where one must channel his energy, his fuel. So, quoting the sutra again, he should not take his stand on the idea that this is form, this is feeling, this is perception, this is volition or impulse, or this is consciousness, etc., until we come to this is Buddhahood. He should not take his stand on the ideas that form, etc., i.e. the 5 skandhas, and the rest is permanent or impermanent, that form is ease or ill, that form is the self or not the self, that form is lovely or repulsive, that form is empty or apprehended as something. The Bodhisattva must leave off all discrimination. All discrimination is born of subject-object thinking, is born of self and affirms self. He must not attach to thoughts of this or that. He must not attach to the thought formations such as, I like this or I don't like that. He must not dwell in non-dwelling either, meaning he should not attach to any thoughts or any concepts. He must study the great teachings without dwelling upon them, meaning that he must not fixate upon them and carry them around with him like a big heavy rock, just as he must not fixate upon worldly sensations. A student of the way unifies with his work, unifies with his co-students, his co-workers, his family. He abandons self into his work, his daily tasks, his family. He is aware of his preferences, but is mindful not to cling to preferences. He is aware that as a human being he courses in preferences, but he also cultivates the transcendence of the human state to manifest no preferences. He attaches to neither state. So going back to the sutra, he should not take a stand on the notion that the fruits of the holy life derive their dignity from the unconditioned, or that a stream winner is worthy of gifts and will be reborn 7 times at the most, or that a once returner is worthy of gifts and will return once, as he has not yet quite won through to the end. Make an end of ill after he has once more come into this world, or that a never returner is worthy of gifts and will, without once more returning to this world, win nirvana elsewhere, or that an arhat is worthy of gifts and will just here in this very existence win nirvana in the realm of nirvana that leaves nothing behind, or that a pratyeka Buddha is worthy of gifts and will win nirvana after rising above the level of a disciple, but without having attained the level of a Buddha. That a Buddha is worthy of gifts and will win nirvana in the Buddha nirvana, in the realm of nirvana that leaves nothing behind, after he has risen above the level of a common man, of a disciple, of a pratyeka Buddha, wrought the wheel of countless beings, led to nirvana countless hundreds of thousands of nayutas of kotis of beings, assured countless beings of discipleship, pratyeka Buddhahood, and full Buddhahood, stood on the stage of a Buddha and done a Buddha's work. Even thereon, a bodhisattva should not take his stand. Thereupon the Venerable Subhuti thought to himself, if even thereon one should not take one's stand, how then should one stand and train himself? The Venerable Subhuti, through the Buddha's might, read his thoughts and said, what do you think, Sarputra? Where did the Tathagata stand? Sarputra said, nowhere did the Tathagata stand, because his mind sought no support. He neither stood in what is conditioned, nor what is unconditioned, nor did he emerge from them. Subhuti, even so a bodhisattva should stand and train himself. He should decide that, as the Tathagata does not stand anywhere nor not stand, nor stand apart nor not stand apart, so I will stand. Just so should he train himself. As the Tathagata is stationed, so I will stand and train myself. Just so should he train himself. As the Tathagata is stationed, so I will stand, well placed because without a place to stand on. Even so should a bodhisattva stand and train himself. When he trains thus, he adjusts himself to perfect wisdom and will never cease from taking it to heart. So, my comment. When a bodhisattva does zazen, he stands nowhere. When he sweeps the grounds, he stands nowhere. When he kisses his lover, he stands nowhere. When he shakes hands with a friend, he stands nowhere. The cosmos expands and contracts throughout his being, and he stands nowhere. Where does he stand? He stands on the treetop. He stands on the lily pad. He stands on the rising sun. He stands on the wings of a dragonfly. This is my world, exclaims the bodhisattva. When I walk upon the earth, I walk upon my body. When the bodhisattva hugs his spouse, the cosmos embraces him. When he feels his lover's cheek on his cheek, or touches her hand, the universe reverberates throughout his being. Diligently, one plunges oneself into expansion and contraction. We expand to the maximum, and then the cosmos rests there momentarily. Then we contract to the minimum, and then the cosmos rests there momentarily. Without thought, will, or desire, we expand and contract with the cosmos, the content of our being.